It's Nicole. Today is Wednesday, February 22nd. Everyone knows what that means. It's time for another Top 5 Wednesday. I'm really sad that I missed last week's topic just because I was working so much. I missed doing Top 5 Wednesday so much that I made a promise to myself that no matter what I was doing, I would make time today to do the topic, which is books to get you out of your reading slump. This just spoke volumes to me just because about December last year, I was in a reading slump. That continued into January. That seems to have continued to February. I am not reading as much as I want to. I didn't finish the series that I was working on that I really wanted to finish by the end of last year. I think I still have like 10 more books in that series to read when I wanted to be finished last year, but I just keep pushing it back. I'm reading really the bare minimum of what I have to. It's either for my own personal book club, the books that I'm reading for that, or today I just finished Inkheart for Read, React, Repeat, which is first meeting that I'm actually going to attend. That's a book club that Cam, Clara, and Aaron created, and I'm very excited to be a part of that. But basically, I'm just reading what I have to at this point. So hopefully with this top 5, I will take my own advice and read these books that I have to get me out of my reading slump, because it's dragging. Every time I go on Goodreads, it's telling me I'm behind schedule, and I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. But hopefully, after doing this topic today, I will break out of this slump and just steam forward, finishing the series that I'm trying to finish, and much, much more. So that's enough rambling from me. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. If you don't know what Top 5 Wednesday is, it is a Goodreads group that you can be a part of that was created by Lainey over at Ginger Reads Lainey, and it is now hosted by Sam at Thoughts on Tomes. And like I said, the topic is books to get you out of your reading slump. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Like always, I'm going to start at number 5 and work my way down. Number 5 isn't really a book per se. It's more like, I'm just going to go out and say it, fan fiction. Whenever I find myself in a reading slump, that is when I devour the most fan fiction. I just go on my app and look up something that I want to read, whether it's fan fiction from a TV show, other books, or other movies, specific characters if I want. If you haven't tried that to get out of a reading slump, I really urge you to, because I have read some really great fan fiction, sometimes so good that I wish that is how the actual book or story or TV show went instead of the direction it did go in. So yeah, that helps me out a lot. Number 4 is comic books. I find that with comic books, they're pretty quick reads. You can mostly look at the pictures to get the story. I have some comic books here that I just picked up from my shelf. 2 of my really kind of most favorite comics that I have in my collection. And one is this 1984 edition of the Mighty Avengers, which I love so much. I really like it. Just can't believe back then in August it was only 60 cents. So there's that one, and then this is a collection of comic book stories that were inspired by the Grimm fairy tales. Obviously that's Belle and Beast on the cover, but there's a lot more tales in here than just that. Obviously the first one is Beauty and the Beast, which is actually pretty on point because that movie is coming out, and who's excited? This girl. This girl is excited. But it has some pretty awesome illustrations in here. This one's kind of crazy. 3 Billy Goats Gruff. Here's some other ones in that collection as well. I really want to get a hold of all of these, actually. So yeah, comics. You just kind of read through them. Like I said, they're pretty short. You can probably, like the Mighty Avengers one, you can probably knock out in 30 minutes. Number 3 on my list is short books. Let's be honest. If you're in a reading slump, you are not going to get over it reading a massive 600, 700, 800 page book. It's not going to happen. For example, when I'm trying to finish the Dark Hunter series, the next book on my list that I have to read is Styx, and it's right here. And it's massive. I have no inclination to start this book. It's so intimidating, especially because I'm really not in the mood to read anything. Look at this. Look at this. You can kill somebody with this. And it has deckled edges. I didn't even notice that. Let me see. How messy. 836 pages. This looks more than 836 pages. But I could, seriously, this looks so intimidating. I don't want to read it at all. But it's the next book that I have to read in this series. I need to get out of this slump. Put that back. So, don't reach for giant mammoth books like that. Reach for little short books, like Tuck Everlasting. Look how short this thing is. It's like not even 200 pages. Yeah, it's 139 pages. At least this edition is. You can knock that out in no time. And it's a children's book, so it's very, I mean, even the writing is like kind of large. It's not small. Pick up some short books that you could just get lost in, that you can knock out quickly, and you can feel like you accomplished something. Number 2 on my list is pure fluff books. That helps me a lot get out of reading slumps. If I try to reach for something like fantasy or science fiction or something that has a lot of terminology that I have to wrap my brain around, I get over it pretty quickly and I just don't want to finish reading it. So when I say pure fluff books, I'm talking about contemporary. I'm talking about either YA contemporary or adult contemporary, where it's kind of just based on real life, where you don't have to use your imagination, you don't have to struggle over, like I said, terminology and characters, and if they're in deep space or in some fantasy land. Just something that's kind of based on real life, preferably something that doesn't have drama in it, like a suspense contemporary or like a thriller or something like that. For me, I reach for contemporary romance that is just makes me laugh. An author that I reach for to give me just that is Susan Mallory. She writes a lot of contemporary romance books and they are hilarious. Like this book is the first book of a series. It's called the Fool's Gold series, and it's basically Fool's Gold is a town in California that is mainly populated by women. I believe it's the mayor, her sister, and I think her best friend are the 3 women that start this. Basically, they just start a campaign to get men to come to this town so they could, have relationships. Her writing is quick, it's witty, and makes me laugh out loud. And you could probably, even though this book is nearly 400 pages, you can knock it out in like half a day if you just sat and read it. She's one that I really go to try to get me out of my slump. Number 1 on my list, and for those of you who have watched my channel before or know me at all, you know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say. And if you don't, you should watch my other videos of what books do I mention in all of my videos. It's inevitable. Obviously, my number 1 pick is Harry Potter. Obviously. It's just a favorite for me. It got me into reading. I've said that 75 million times, and I've probably read this book 75 million times. I could probably recite to you the first chapter of this book. What I'm getting at for this last one is just really something that you've read before that you really enjoyed. Whether it was the first book that got you into reading or something that you have a really big connection with that just makes you smile, that you really enjoy reading. And for me, that is Harry Potter. For others, it could be Percy Jackson. It could be Twilight. It could be any number of YA books or even adult books or a fantasy book that got you into reading. Rereading those old favorites can just get you back into the swing of things. That is it. Those are my top 5 books to get me out of a reading slump. Hopefully that will help you out too. If you were in a reading slump and you want to get out of it, try picking up any one of these books. If you like my video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to comment below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And you can follow me on Goodreads, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. I'll see you next time, avid readers.